So the point being, because the more serious crimes, he was acquitted on the more serious crimes, that opens the window that the Trump administration now feels it wouldn't be as bad to, there wouldn't be as much backlash to pardon him.
Oh, honey, this ain't just some random celeb run-ins. Donald Trump and Sean Diddy Combs were out here moving like the kings of the same glittery jungle. For years, these two were VIP regulars, dapping each other up at bougie charity events, breaking bread at hush-hush Manhattan hotspots, and throwing side eyes and smirks across candlelit corners at those wild, no-expense-spared parties where champagne flowed like gossip and paparazzi always got the shot. Trump was loud about Diddy's grind, and Diddy gave props to Trump's flair for the dramatic. Folks looked at him like two bosses who knew how to command any room. So when that buddy-buddy vibe finally cracked, baby, it was pure drama.
I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office, and he made some terrible statements.
Oh, baby, the love is long gone and in its place. A cold-blooded snub so icy, it's got everybody from CNN to the Shade Room buzzing. Trump ain't just washing his hands of his old party pal. He's practically pushing for the max time behind bars for Diddy, who's already sweating 2 whole decades over them transport for pay charges. And when Trump hit NEWSMAX, with his usual petty meets politics energy, you could feel the salt through the screen. It makes it more difficult to do, he said, clearly still pressed about how Diddy came for his presidency back in the day. Translation? That friendship done flipped into a full-blown vendetta, and Trump? He's looking real comfy playing judge, jury, and executioner. For folks who remember their buddy banter days, this flip feels straight out of some wild political telenovela. Not long ago, Diddy was still getting shout-outs in Trump interviews, sitting right at the crossroads of hip-hop shine and that reality TV to White House madness. But when Diddy snatched that mic and turned it into a megaphone for anti-Trump heat, the vibes plummeted. By 2020, Diddy was straight up calling for men like Trump to be canceled, and trust, Trump heard every word. And best believe he's been keeping receipts.
Then what's the stuff that's happening with Wendy Williams? You think this is all connection to?
Of course.
Whew, now we getting into the real tea, and it's murky as a swamp at midnight. Word on the street? Trump's cold shoulder ain't just about bruised egos and political shade. Nah, industry insiders are whispering about a whole revenge pact. And guess who's at the center? Miss Cassie herself. Her bombshell claims of abuse and manipulation lit the match that sparked this federal fire. And baby, when them headlines hit, Trump didn't just see scandal, he saw strategy. He could play hero in public, looking like he's riding for survivors, while low-key sticking it to an old rival who had the audacity to drag him in the past. So is this new woke Trump a changed man? Or is he just playing chess while the rest playing checkers? But hold up, because it gets even darker. Some folks say Trump's refusal to pardon Diddy ain't just personal, it's calculated. Enter the Epstein factor. Yeah, that Epstein. Ain't no proof Diddy was ever at them infamous soirees, but the whispers? Loud. The overlap, big names, wild parties, dark secrets, got conspiracy corners going crazy. And let's not forget, Trump himself been ducking questions for years about his own ties to Epstein. So by throwing Diddy under the legal bus now and pushing for max time, he might just be shouting a message loud and clear. Whatever y'all think y'all know about them parties, don't drag me, Diddy's riding solo.
If the
In
judge,
October. Right.
In October 3rd, if the judge denies bail, then Trump is going to make a decision possibly immediately thereafter.
Most likely, the judge is gonna, based on
I don't know.
previous decisions, it feels like the judge.
Now ain't that rich? The same Donald Trump who's been out here passing out pardons like party favors to his political ride or dies, crying foul about the so-called corrupt justice system, is now flexing real tough on a former homie whose court sins ain't even touching the mess folks think they know. But instead of mercy, what we are seeing, a masterclass in political payback with a sprinkle of petty, It's almost Shakespearean, child. Picture it. The apprentice's own ringmaster now playing judge and jury on a man who used to post up beside him. Sharp suits, dark shades, both looking like money and mutual power. And baby, the timing. It's Shady with a capital S. Just days before Trump locked in his no clemency stance, the Justice Department suddenly slammed the vault on them Epstein files, claiming ain't no client list worth showing. That ain't stopped the internet sleuths from drawing the lines. 2 bombshell cases, both tied to A-list men, both heavy with whispers about secret freaky-deaky parties, both wrapping up with less smoke than expected, and both leaving folks side-eyeing the system. But here's the gag. Diddy's still got a date with Destiny, aka sentencing, and Trump? He's sitting pretty with his hand on the scale, ready to tip it however he damn well pleases.
Trump pardoning Diddy will create another Epstein for him. It would be a nightmare. And last and certainly not least, the GOP is already struggling with female voters, and they're not all lefties. There are young conservative women who aren't in love with Trump or MAGA. There are. And this will not help. It's very clear. We all saw the videotape of him beating the hell out of Cassandra.
And let's not act brand new. The drama don't stop with Diddy and Trump. Oh no, baby. The mess done spilled into the prosecutor's office too. Maureen Comey, yes, that Comey, daughter of Trump's FBI arch-nemesis, got the boot real quick after touching both the Diddy and Epstein cases. Then boom, she drops a cryptic mic, warning folks about power being abused and fear twisting justice. Now whether that was just bad timing or some high-level chest move, don't matter. The optics were straight jet fuel on the conspiracy fire. Folks already whispering about puppet strings and power plays. This just confirmed for many that somebody behind the curtain is yanking hard. Then you got Trump out here talking about spilling all the Epstein tea while still leaving Diddy out to dry? Baby, at this point, the line between justice, petty revenge, and PR cleanup is blurrier than a late-night IG live. And don't get it twisted. This ain't just personal beef for Trump. This is about legacy. His fan base sees all this as proof he's a no-nonsense boss, not swayed by friendships when the law's involved. But his critics? Oh, they hollerin', saying it's mighty convenient how mercy's handed out like VIP passes, some folks skating clean while others like Diddy get ghosted.
They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down.
Which brings us to that question. The one folks keep dodging like it ain't sitting heavy in the air. Was Trump ever really Diddy's boy? Or was this whole friendship just smoke and mirrors, destined to blow up the second their ambitions stopped running in the same lane? All those glossy pics of 'em cheesing and clinking glasses in the good old days? Now they look like receipts from a setup, like the opening scene in a drama where you just know a betrayal's about to drop. And now the countdown's on. October's creeping up fast. And the courtroom where Diddy's gonna learn his fate? It's feeling smaller, colder, more final by the day. And let's be real, you can't ignore the eerie echoes between Diddy's downfall and Epstein's epic implosion. Both these men started from scratch, clawed their way into the billionaire boys club, throwing those hush-hush soirees where presidents, royalty, and A-list celebs all rubbed elbows under dim lights and tighter security. They weren't just rich, they were untouchable, until they weren't. When that courtroom spotlight hit, all that glitz turned to damning detail. And now, the twist that's got everybody talking. Diddy's conviction hit just days after Trump suddenly slammed the vault on them Epstein files. No list, no tea, no names. So you tell me, was it a wild coincidence or a perfectly timed distraction cooked up to keep eyes off the real skeletons in the room? Either way, baby, this ain't over. Not by a long shot.
Look at Diddy, for instance. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at him. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at. He has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much, but what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war going on.
Now this is where the plot thickens, baby. And folks in the industry are whispering louder than ever. Behind closed doors, more than a few insiders are asking the same shady question. Was Diddy's courtroom circus just the perfect smokescreen for this administration's slick backpedal on Epstein? Because while the world was glued to the drama of Diddy's guilty verdict, the Justice Department was over here dropping that dry, cold memo saying there ain't no Epstein client list worth showing. Just like that. Like we ain't all been waiting for names. That so-called transparency we were promised? Gone. Poof. And when folks dared to ask about the missing minute of Epstein's jail footage, they got some dusty excuse about outdated cameras. Ain't that convenient? It's the overlap that's making everybody squirm. Two rich, powerful men accused of throwing lavish, exclusive gatherings where the guest list was more elite than a Met Gala after-party. Yet both somehow walk into courtrooms with less heat than the public expected. And when you layer in the sudden firing of Maureen Comey, oh, now the story gets downright sinister. This wasn't just some mid-level legal aid. Sis was deep in the mud of both cases, digging through the dark corners of Epstein's past and leading the charge on Diddy. Then, boom, she's out. No press conference, no explanation.
I don't know this, but it just seems very suspicious when you go through and you look at in the history of different people that can make you go away if you know. Listen, I've worried about some of the things that I talk about on my show.
Let's be real. Trump's had a problem with the Comey name ever since he fired Maureen's daddy from the FBI. And this White House, baby, they've been real careful about replacing prosecutors tied to cases the president don't like. Now throw in the hot mess that is the Epstein files plus Diddy's open civil suits, and you've got a situation that's way too messy to ignore. If Maureen Comey started digging up real links, shared party guests, mutual connections, money trails, it's possible her firing wasn't about politics at all. It might have been damage control. And that theory? That's the type of thing that keeps folks wide awake at night. Insiders been talking for months about this so-called pardon list, an off-the-record mental lineup of celebs and power players Trump could dangle in front of the cameras whenever he needed to hijack the headlines. On the surface, him playing with the idea of pardoning Diddy or even Ghislaine Maxwell seemed wild and erratic. But people who know how Trump plays the media say it was all intentional. Just mentioning those names caused outrage loud enough to drown out everything else. And while everybody was busy arguing, the real stories quietly disappeared.
And I'm gonna tell you why 50 is literally the diabolical genius. And he's
Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that like button. And if you're new to the fam, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the latest and greatest. Thanks for tuning in.